Hey everybody, this is the Blood and Crips episode of Just Two Boys. We're trying to get them all together and it's not going too well.
We're trying to end gang violence and we thought what a great way to end it than to just get two matching tracksuits that are different colors that represent the Blood and the Crips. And when they watch this, they would probably realize, oh hey, those guys are getting along. We can get along too.
We can probably get along too, and that's the end of all gang activity. Welcome to another episode of Just Two Boys. If you are first listening to the podcast, it's where me and my co-host JASMEET Reina here talk about very...
They all know what the podcast is. You don't have to explain what a podcast is.
My bad.
Stupid. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Just Two Boys. This is the Brown Issues edition. Boom, boom, boom.
This was gonna be a really good one because both me and JASMEET have very different views. Hence, me being the most whitest brown guy known to the brown community.
Yeah, and I am very much more brown than he is compared to him. But then in the Punjabi community, I'm also very whitewashed as well. So I guess we don't have different views at all. They're very similar. Anyways, we're just going to splurt out our views. There's been a hot streak of a lot of big things.
One by one,
concerning people in our community that have been pretty big news stirs. And I think people have been...
News stirs?
News stirs. You know, stirring the news.
Oh, okay.
News stirs. And people have been reaching out to us and saying, hey, WAHLID, hey, Just, what do you guys think about XYZ? What do you think about ZYX, ABC, 1, 2, 3? And we said, we're not saying anything until we do it on the pod.
That's right. That's the main reason why. People were like, hey, WAHLID, what do you think about the Gucci making these turbans? I was like, I don't even wear turbans. Fuck if I know.
I honestly, people ask me on Twitter all the time when I think about certain issues, and I'm so scared to tweet stuff now.
Because they're going to pull your tweet?
Because they're going to pull... Not even that, just everything's going to be taken out of context. And so I'm like, I'm not going to talk about... This is why the podcast is so great, because I can actually talk and not be limited to 140, 280 characters.
It's 280 now.
Whatever. Sure. Anyways, I don't want to be limited, and I don't want people to take anything I say out of context, which has been happening a lot for a lot of people recently. So I'm like, I'm just going to do funny tweets. And then
have those be taken out of context.
And then just leave the stuff that I want to talk about in full girth on the podcast. Because I did one tweet where it was, remember that whole internet censorship? Remember how your country hates you and wants to control everything you guys do, and they're like, hey, you shouldn't have too much fun with the internet. Let's make money from it and control what you see. Remember
I've heard of that. Yeah.
So that thing was like, what was it called? Net neutrality. Yeah, you guys got rid of net neutrality. And the guy who was behind it was this dude named Ajit Pai, who's also a brown dude. And so I made a joke about him.
What did you say?
I said Ajit Pai is one of those guys that would be at a party and be like, hey, it's really easy to dance to Indian music. Bhangra. All you got to do is twist the light bulb and pet the dog. I was like, yo, he looks like that guy.
Oh, dude.
Which he does. He does look like that guy.
He does.
He looks and sounds exactly like the guy, which is not, I'm not being like,
hey, there's nothing wrong with being that guy.
It's just funny. It's hilarious because he is that guy. And anybody that says no, come on.
But how do they get taken out of context?
That didn't get taken out of context. So I said that's funny, that's fine, that's great. But one guy replied to me and he's like, yeah, that's what these evil Hindus do, right? And I was like, whoa, what? Yeah. I was like, wait, are you talking about the Bhangra or are you talking about the net neutrality?
Are you talking about...
Because I can see you saying that about both. Just kidding. Hindu people can do Bhangra. I've seen you guys. You guys are great.
That's hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, so he said that and I was like, wait, what are you talking? I was like, yo, it's not... And then I was just like, I was like, hey, him being an asshole has nothing to do with him being Hindu. It has everything to do with him being an ignorant piece of shit.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right.
That's mainly the main reason why.
Yeah.
All these situations have been happening lately in the news.
Of course. So I said that, and then like people that are born in a Hindu family or have a Hindu background, they were like, "Yeah, thank you, man. Like this is great. We shouldn't be attacking based on religion. We should be talking about based on their ignorance and their stupidity and their just like hatred towards people, right? Which is that him saying that is also what makes him any better than the person he's attacking. So I said that, and then a lot of my stuff got taken, and I've got people like, wait, what are you talking about? Hindu people have been orchestrating genocides for years, and they started pulling up history about like stuff that I wasn't even talking about at all.
That's so
like
funny.
Giving facts about like, there's a what about caste system? What about
it's so funny because
the deletes and the Sikh issues in '84 and all stuff. And I was like, yo, I wasn't even talking about that.
The difference between me and you, if I said some shit like that, I'd be like, all right, shut up, Wally.
Yeah, people be like, shut up, Wally. But I don't.
What the fuck do you know?
Maybe it's because I believe in human rights, and I've been I'm a.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I've been vocal about like social issues and social justice issues in the past, like things that I'm like, yo, this isn't cool. I talk about, but like I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, everybody's bad because of this. You know what I mean? So that got taken out of context. I was getting attacked by like my own people, and I was like, this is so stupid. You're not even listening to what I'm saying. I'm like, you can be a Hindu person and be ignorant as shit. You can be any religion. You can be a Muslim
racist
and dumb. You can be a Sikh and you can be dumb and racist. But that doesn't mean that's because of your philosophy on what happens after you die.
Remember that thing we were talking about is like a racist who learned a language to be racist?
Yeah. Like, yes. I was like, yeah, we were saying if a racist person went out of their way to learn the language so they could be racist to you in your language, I would be like, you know what? I respect you, man. Like,
be racist. If
you went out of your way, you're not even from my culture. You went out of your way to learn this language just so you could say some shit to me. There's a level of respect I will have for you because I'm like, you know what? It's not. You didn't just drive by and yell "Packy," like you did the research, and you spent time, and you went to classes.
And yet you
Rosetta Stone.
You didn't change your mind about.
And still, you didn't open. I was like, it's just like there's a certain level of respect. You're still an idiot, but there's a certain level of respect I have for you. Yeah. First thing we have right off the press was the Gucci
Turbans thing. That kind of it didn't blow up on Twitter. The cycle of it was like 3 days.
Yeah, which is I think the cycle of everything. Yeah, everything is.
Anything Trump says lasts for 3 days.
Any controversy is always 3 days. It's a 72-hour rule. I believe in that rule. So what happened was Gucci had a fashion show, and a couple of their models were wearing turbans, and they were like Sikh people style turbans, and a lot of the community went up in arms because like, hey Gucci, what the shit? You're putting turbans on white models. Where's the representation at? Why don't you use brown models? Why don't you stop taking something that is culturally and religiously tied to our people and exploiting it for your fashion show, right? That's what was being said. Yeah. That was the argument. That's the argument that you saw too, right? So, what were your thoughts when you saw that? As a person who wears a turban.
I was like, wow, these turbans are sick. I can't wait to cop.
I can't wait to go to Gucci, get a handbag, get a wallet, and then get a Gucci turban. Which, if Gucci made a turban, honestly, here's the thing. First of all, when I saw that model wearing a turban, I didn't even think twice because it looked so normal to me. Here's why it looked normal to me. One of the models looked like my cousin.
From where?
I have a cousin, so I have an uncle of mine who married a white woman in the 60s. Mm-hmm. And so one of my cousins, he like looks fully white because my uncle's very light skinned, and then he married a white girl, so he's like fully white, and he used to wear a turban. Yeah. So when I saw that picture, it just looked like my cousin. So I wasn't even bothered. I just like scrolled past, like like it looked normal to me because it looked like my cousin. It looked so much like my cousin.
Do you have a picture of your cousin?
I do. I'll find a picture of it and we'll put it up here. Here's a picture of my cousin. And there's a lot of people in my family that are very light skinned and they have like blue eyes, white skin and like
beautiful
blonde reddish hair. There's people like that in my family, so it looked like somebody that was part of my family. So I didn't think twice. I went on with my day until I was like, oh wait, no, there's people are like, hey, why don't you use Just Rain as a model, which I'm not a Gucci, come on.
Turban on this guy.
I wear a turban.
People get more mad.
Yeah. It's like, why use him? We have Wars. We have JASMEET. There's so much. They're good looking.
And beautiful.
They're models. They're actually beautiful. Why didn't you use them?
And they do good for the world.
He just, poop. Here's a dick, WAHLID. Him and his dumb friends.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you too. You get thrown under the bus. Anyway, so I saw that. First of all, that didn't faze me. Then second of all, people were like, hey, as a Sikh man, what do you think about this? Let me give you my honest feedback. Okay. A, before I delve into any of these things, I think I want to look at the intent behind the company, right? So like, what is the intent with anybody that does this? Now, I know there's two schools of thoughts. People are always like, no, you should always be careful of what you say because blah, 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 you should just know what you say. Too bad. That's life. Like, it'll hurt somebody, so you should be mindful of what you said, which is, I agree. Like, it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. I agree with that. But also, if someone didn't intend for something to be said in a negative way and you perceived it in a negative way, then who's at fault? Right? So is there more importance to intention? And that's something that I've always not really struggled with, but I think I'm leaning more towards the intention side. It's like, if you don't want to cause any harm. Anyways, I always look at that. Now,
so are you saying that it's not their fault?
No, I'm not saying that. Wait.
It's not their fault that people got offended.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's the first thing I look at is intent. Okay? So that's what I always do with everything. And after I evaluated this, and I'm like, okay, Gucci's a big company. This turban is obviously a Sikh turban. Even if they like mindlessly did it, yeah, you're kind of stupid. And also, if you did, but I feel like they might have done it just so it would have caused a little bit of a stir, a little bit of controversy. Because it's 2018. As a fashion company, you got to know that some stuff that you do might cause some controversy.
Yeah, H&M.
Yeah, right, exactly. So like, you can't be that stupid where it's like, no, we just thought it looked cool, so we put it on the models. So I feel like they kind of knew that it was going to stirring. It'll be news stirring.
Oh God!
And it would cause some sort of ripple in the internet world, which it did. And you know, some people say bad, no publicity.
So are you saying like relax, or are you saying like?
I'm not saying relax. What I'm saying
is let's mobilize. Let's fight Gucci.
No, I'm not saying that. Am I going to continue wearing Gucci? Yes, I love Gucci. Am I mad at Gucci? Like, we don't know the ins and outs. We don't know if there was a designer, if it was the whole company. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying, what I'm saying is, these days, we're so quick to get mad at some things that we don't necessarily need to get mad to. Because, like, okay, even if it's a company that's run by white people, fuck them. Who cares? Why are you getting mad? Like, you can be aware of that and be like, that's shitty. Let's do something about it. Let's make our own fucking clothes. Let's make our own dope shit. Let's like empower people in our community that are working on turbans, working on fashion, that are like, that understand the pulse of the community and the Sikh community. And it's like, you can only, what are you going to do? Make a petition and be like, Gucci, like take this down and boycott Gucci and blah, blah. That's not going to work, nor is it's just a waste of time. It's like, fuck them.
People are still going to buy the belts.
I love Gucci, but fuck Gucci, right? But I will continue. I love Gucci. But fuck that. Who cares? Yeah. I'm not even like, it's just like, yo, put your energy in towards something else. Don't get mad. Don't like, that's my personal philosophy is like, don't get mad. Don't yell. And just like do shit. Like take that energy and like put it into creating something out of it. So like let's make our own shit. Let's make our own clothing line. Let's empower people in our own community. Let's like, as entertainers,
dude, now everyone's going to hit you up and be like, hey, wear my t-shirt.
Yeah, go ahead. Send me all your t-shirts. But I'm saying like, as even this translates directly into what we do. As entertainers, like we could either go out and complain like, oh, this management company doesn't want to hire us for this film or blah, blah, blah. Or like what we did was like said, fuck it. Like, I've had so many people tell me, looking like this, you're not going to get any acting jobs. You're not going to blah, blah, blah. Because, like, no one's going to hire a dude with a turban. And instead of, like, me petitioning and complaining, I was like, you know what? Fuck that. let me just do my own shit, make my own shit, and like carve my own path. That's all it's about. Is like carving your own path. Don't expect these people in high positions to give you shit, because half the time they won't. So there's no point in crying about it, which like fine, like you can be mad at it, but take that energy and turn and carve your own path.
That's some good advice.
That's my personal philosophy on it, and you can agree with me or not agree with me, but that's how I live my life. I think that's how we both live our life. It's like just not
get so upset.
Yeah, because like I think maybe because we've been there, we've been like, oh,
it
just
happens.
don't. Yeah, it happens. Like we're.
But is it bad because we're so decent? Like we're just numb to it now?
No, I don't think we're numb to it at all. I think we've been through some shit we've been through some shit that we were like, okay, either we can take all these experiences and just be depressed and feel like victims our whole life and like not do anything with it and just like be angry and just yell and be angry more, or we'll turn it into something cool like comedy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what comedians do. They take shitty experiences in their life and then they turn it into humorous, funny stories that other people can relate to.
Oh, you're not funny.
No, I'm not talking. Wait, me? Did I say I was a comedian? I'm a social justice warrior.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, comedy is just a guise. I'm fighting on the front lines of social justice warfare. I'm a general.
Oh, shit. General and social justice. Our second situation that we're going to highlight.
Anyways, that's my thought. What did you think about that? What did you think?
I couldn't relate. I couldn't be
okay,
upset.
fine. What if,
I couldn't be...
I know you're whitewashed, whatever, and you're proud of that.
I'm not... Whoa.
Okay,
Listen,
fine. Hold on.
I was just in a bad environment.
Okay. Wait. If you saw Gucci like with girls wearing hijabs, what would you say?
I'd be like, yo, those are sick hijabs.
Do you have women in your family or in your community that wear hijabs? So you know women that wear hijabs?
Yeah.
Okay, so like if you saw Gucci models that were white,
dude,
that were wearing hijabs, what would you say?
I see white people wearing hijabs all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think it's like because there's respect of going into like a Middle Eastern country.
Yeah.
And like having respect for that country and their beliefs.
Yeah.
And not getting the guys all angry.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, my mom would probably buy it.
Yeah. Do you know, the other thing is like people that were getting mad that it was a white dude wearing a turban, I don't see anything wrong with that at all.
Nick Cannon.
Yeah, people wanted me to get mad at Nick Cannon. I was like, why should I be mad at him? Like he's totally being respectful. He understands where it's like, what, you know what I mean? A, that, B, like I like when white people wear turbans because then it's like not a scary thing. It's like every university in Canada has a tie a turban day where we get white people, like people of all different backgrounds wear a turban. They get to keep the turban. And it's like, do I get mad at them for wearing turbans? You want me to get mad at them for no? I've been a part of those where I've tied so many turbans on white people and they're like, whoa, this is great. Like, this is cool. Like, it's like everything that I thought it was, it's not that. It's just a piece of beautiful fabric around my head. And it's great. I understand.
It has great representation.
Yeah.
Good morals.
Right. And the third thing is like, Sikh people don't own the turban. Yes, it's a part of our history. It's a part of our spirituality, but we don't own it. Turbans are in every culture. Like Afghans wear turbans. Pakistani people wear turbans that look similar to Sikh turbans. The Dutch, the Russians have worn turbans. Like turbans are a huge thing. They're a sign of royalty, but it's like you can't say that like one group of people owns the turban. This is only because I get a lot of heat from people that are like, yo, you wear a turban, you shouldn't. Maybe that's where it's coming from. Where people are like, you're wearing a turban, you're representing such and such and such.
Oh, okay,
Don't do this.
Yeah.
Don't put dicks in your videos. Don't talk about these jokes. Don't go and party. Don't have fun because that's not what the turban represents. No, that's your view of the turban. That doesn't mean that that's what everybody thinks. And B, I like wearing a turban and I like being me. So I'm going to continue doing that.
So sorry.
So why did this turn into a personal rant?
Yeah. Are you mad at something?
Yes! Main point is like, but I understand in this case because there were Sikh looking turbans, so I understand why people were mad. But that's my viewpoint. That's your viewpoint. And that's what we think. What do you guys think?
Put it down in the comments down below. Fuck this content.
Second issue.
Second situation that we want to highlight / talk about is the pharrell Holi line.
Holi.
Holi. Uh-oh.
Who's Holi?
Huh? My girlfriend.
Wait. That's your girlfriend's name?
Sounds like a white name. Sorry. Second situation we want to address is the Adidas Holi line.
Yeah.
Because I said Holly earlier and I know. I'm sorry. By Adidas.
What did I say about him being whitewashed? One of my best friends in high school was Afghan. Okay. And he was whitewashed. Dude, you barely know Farsi. You're so whitewashed. Because I at least know how to read and write and speak Punjabi. He was like, didn't know. I was like, you're whitewashed. That friend met WAHLID at my birthday. And after spending like 10 minutes with him, he's like, dude, I don't believe you're a real person. You're the most whitewashed Afghan guy I've ever met in my life. And my whitewashed best friend from high school said that about you.
No, he said it got to the point where he's like, I don't even know if you're brown or what. You're like a different genre.
Yeah. And then when I heard that, I was like, oh, that's how whitewashed you are? If my whitewashed friend from high school said you're whitewashed, and he's like never met anybody, I was like, damn, you must be really fucking whitewashed.
Anyways,
case in point, him saying Holi instead of Holi.
Adidas dropped a line. Someone got upset. I'm not gonna say people.
Yeah.
This is obviously.
Well, yeah, like there was articles written, people got upset, and
I mean, I wear Adidas casually, you know.
Yeah, so this is like, I'm like, we're not trying to defend Adidas.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course not.
We wear Adidas here and there, very like casual.
You know, when I'm running an errand or like,
we're not like Adidas spokespeople.
Yeah, or we don't love Adidas so much for ambassadors.
No. Like, it's not like my last 5 Instagram pictures.
All Adidas.
All I'm wearing is Adidas and tagging Adidas.
So yeah, I'm not upset about the.
So we're not defending Adidas because of that. Okay, so we're not. Let's go back to this. We're not. Well, first of all, what are your thoughts?
I think it was stupid. I think.
Wait, what's stupid?
That someone got mad.
Okay, why? Why do you think
it was a waste of energy, waste of time. When I read the article, I was angry.
Yeah. For
wasting my time.
So what
reading that 5-minute article?
So the whole argument was that
because the campaign was beautiful, right?
Yeah.
They were using South Asian models. They were sick. They were fitted. They were wearing tracksuits. There was like colors all over them. It was dope.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like mad, or I didn't see a reason for someone to be upset.
What was the article saying?
It was basically saying he's appropriating. They're appropriating like brown South Asian culture. Yeah,
pharrell and Adidas.
Yeah. And then there was like even Adidas responded to like a Hollywood reporter. They're like, yeah, the whole point of the line was to like bring cultures together and and inspire other cultures to come together and So I didn't.
So you watched the campaign and you thought it was done respectfully.
I thought it was a good campaign.
So did I. I watched it and I was like, that is really cool. Like,
and they didn't use you as a model. I was like, good.
They didn't use me as a model, and thousands of people breathed a sigh of relief
when they saw Adidas not use you.
I was not in that campaign. Well, I'm Canadian. I'm like Indian by heritage, but I don't live in India and play Holi.
And Pharrell,
why am I even defending? Shut up. Pharrell was in India at that time, and like, I love Pharrell.
Pharrell's the nicest. How are you going to be mad at Pharrell for anything? Pharrell could slap me in the face.
Pharrell is a
thank you,
fellow person of color coming from a community that's also faced so much criticism and backlash, and you know, he's from a culture where people say, you know, the black culture is appropriated all the time, right? So I think he understands how to be respectful and not appropriate. My thoughts, my theories. And like Adidas, the campaign was done fairly respectfully. And it wasn't like exploiting South Asian culture. Like I don't think they made money off of, like, you know what I mean? It was like, here's one thing. Here's our tracksuits. Let's like blend them together. Like let's make a campaign that unifies both of those and show that it's cool.
Like the shoes are sick. You see the shoes? Like it was like first a white one and then it got like progressively more more colors to it.
Yeah. So
if you could send me those shoes, Adidas, that'd be great.
Listen, when companies take initiative and really do the research behind specific customs and cultural things of people from different backgrounds and then are inclusive, that's what it is. This campaign was an example of inclusivity. And we can't call appropriation on everything. Like intent as well. Like I'm sure Adidas did this to bring awareness to this beautiful thing that is a part of Indian culture. Yeah. And it's like, so what do you want exactly? Do you want your culture never to be included and represented.
And huge brands like
like brands recognizing, hey, this is something that we can work alongside with and promote as well. Do you not want that? Isn't that what we're all fighting for? Is to get more recognition
and to be in more brands
and to be in more brands and to have more representation, which is the key thing. Is yes, finally brands, bigger brands are showing that we can. It's like the black culture. I mean, the Black Panther thing. Like Marvel made a movie about Black Panther and used African culture so respectfully and so beautifully, and that movie's killing it. It's like the fifth highest grossing movie of all time. That's beautiful.
I don't know the stats. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I mean that's you can correct me wrong. I think it's the fifth or sixth highest.
So Marvel, what you're trying to say is Marvel. Where's our movie?
Yeah, exactly. This whole thing's about Marvel. Where is our Black Panther? This has nothing to do with Adidas. Where's our superhero? Honestly, no, but it's like getting mad. It's like people. I'm sure there's black people like, I'm mad at Black Panther and like, you're appropriating, which I did see. They were like, hey, give all this money back to the African American communities. But I'm like, yo, it's a business. They're gonna make money and they're gonna make more projects like this. Like that's just how this industry works. Similar with Adidas.
If anything, Marvel's probably like, wow, this movie did so well.
Yeah,
I want to do more of these.
I hope that is Adidas' best campaign ever. I hope they make I hope like they just.
Did you see how good the models were like, fitted? It was amazing.
So I think I hope it's their most successful campaign ever. That's what I say.
Everyone go buy their shoes.
Go buy any line from that product because I want people to
look at us.
We're worried. You know what I mean? Like because that just shows when you use diversity in different cultures in a respectful way and are inclusive and empowering those traditions and cultures, it's a beautiful two-way relationship. We don't have to be mad at people, A, not ever using us, and then B, when they do use us disrespectfully. Because I don't think this was the case. I think there was a mutual respect and it was a cohesive, great collaboration, and it was beautiful. And I was like so happy to see them. Like, this is it. This is like a Sikh man being featured in the front of Vogue or like GQ. Like, that's what I like seeing. So how people were mad at that, I was just like, yo,
I honestly think it was.
You're reaching. This is you. Stop reaching, man. Stop making stories out of shit you don't need to make stories out of. That's what I think.
Did the guy who's wrote that article?
I don't know who wrote that article. I don't know.
Just Two Boys, racist?
I don't know. I don't know who. I didn't read the article. I just saw people were upset by it, and I was like, come on. Like, I can understand being upset by the Gucci thing, but then this, I was like, come on, man. Like,
yeah,
Gucci. Okay, fine. Gucci maybe didn't use the turban respectfully. Mm-hmm. If you say that argument, I understand. But Adidas with Holi, come on.
Look at the pictures. We're gonna put the pictures.
We're gonna put the pictures up. They're using South Asian models, man. Come on. And even if they did use South Asian models,
yeah,
they're using people of color. And even if there's one white model wearing it in India playing Holi, I would understand because white people go to India all the time to play Holi. They do that. Fucking the hippies go there all the time. These hippies are always going to India and playing Holi. So like,
is that what you're mad about the most?
I mean, the whole concept of Holi is to celebrate color diversity and just be happy and just be expressive and loud and beautiful. And if that campaign did that and did that respectfully and it was a cross collaboration, then
it honestly feels like Adidas paid us for us to speak highly of this.
No.
As we're wearing full, we joked about wearing tracksuits and talking about this, but now that I'm thinking about it, it does look pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, I just like Adidas because I like the moves that they're making. I think they're making all the right moves and they're being super respectful and they're creating all of the meanings behind their brands so far. I'm like, this is really cool. I like what Adidas is doing. And this I thought was cool. And Pharrell being a part of it.
Yeah,
everything
Pharrell,
I just thought it was beautiful. Good job. Adidas, pat yourself on the back.
So I like a pink tracksuit. Third situation that we want to speak about is your Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau.
Right.
Movie star, feminist, cock.
So Justin Trudeau, I feel like Justin Trudeau right now is not well liked by like a lot of Canadians, but that just happens with like every prime minister. People get sick of a prime minister. Okay, like, this is so wrong, and then everybody turns against him.
Think of me when I saw that shit. I was like, oh man, well, I mean, look at Trump.
That's what I'm saying. It's like Canada really.
You're really gonna be mad at Justin Trudeau when fucking.
So what are people mad at? People are mad that Justin Trudeau went to India for like a week-long trip, which like whatever the political agenda about that trip was, we're not talking about that. We're talking about what people are saying while he was on the trip. So he's on the trip and he's wearing every like different event. He's wearing a kurta pajama or like a salwar. His wife's wearing a salwar kameez, and they're wearing different traditional Indian clothing. They went to the Golden Temple, right? They wore the proper attire, which they didn't have to, and they did. Their kids were respectful. Their etiquette was respectful. They moved properly, and I saw that, and I was like, "This is great. Like, good for you, Justin Trudeau. Anybody's politics can be whatever, right? I'm not talking about what I believe in my politics. I'm just saying, as a person seeing this, I was like,
and how respectful he was.
He was very respectful, and I was like, that's very awesome. Thank you, and. Going to different cultures and being a part of different traditions, and even him dancing. Yeah, he danced like an idiot because he doesn't know how to dance Bollywood, so he's just doing this. But at least he's dancing, he's enjoying, he's having a good time. Let him enjoy. And the Canadian media was so upset at this week-long trip of Justin Trudeau because they were like,
Canadian media?
The Canadian media, which the Canadian media...
Because nothing is going on.
We're not like America. We don't have... your president touches pussy, is racist, wants to build a wall, is so much of this dumb shit, and you guys are always talking about it, and like he's still a president. Our guy just went to India and wore a couple of different outfits that are traditional Indian outfits, and people are so upset. People were like, how dare he go to India, appropriate, he's wearing different costumes, and he's da-da-da-da.
Yeah, and they called it costumes,
and it's like white people were writing these articles, speaking on my behalf. Okay?
Your behalf.
Right. Well, speaking on like
so the CBC has to run everything by you before they put it.
So listen, CBC, run all of the articles by me first, and I will tell you if it's offensive or not.
Yo, when I did saw that, I was like, wow, they're really begging at this point.
Reaching, bro. Reach. A lot of reaching going on in this podcast and these issues. So Canadian media, 100% reaching. Trying to make a story out of what? Him wearing different... Like, you can make fun of him for going to India and like, yeah, what was his political... Like I said, you can make fun of his political agenda. What was he trying to do? Was he trying to get more Indian votes, Sikh votes, because JASMEET's now in the riding? You know what I mean? Like, oh, we got to appeal... Sure, if you think... Like, yeah, talk about that. But don't like call... Don't call kurta pajamas and like what we wear costumes. He could have picked better clothing. Like, it was some like... On some like... He's wearing the clothing that you see on the mannequins at like Ruby Queen. Remember that store that I took you inside?
Yeah, next to China Garden.
Those like whatever the mannequins were, like it was just stock Indian clothes, which like I was be like, come on, man, where's your stylist at? Wear some Money Jessel. Shout out to Money Jessel. Wear some like good Indian clothes, right? So that was like kind of like stock image Indian clothes, but still, don't call our Indian clothes costumes. And it's like when white Canadian media speaks on the behalf of me, like, is it that ridiculous? I'm just like, no, it's not. That's not even. There's no issue there. Stop making an issue out of that. So, and did you see his kid? So there's like all these pictures of Trudeau in like respectful places, like shaking hands with dignitaries and stuff, and then this kid's just like on the ground, like naked, just like twirling around or like having a tantrum.
How old is the kid?
The kid's probably like 6 or 7. He's just.
What if people are getting mad at the kid? Like,
we're gonna put pictures up. This is what made me laugh. Like, just this kid, just being so. He's just being a kid. And if anybody got mad at that, then I would be like,
hey, tell your kid to show some goddamn respect. The kid doesn't understand.
The kid's just a kid. Anyways,
if you were working for the news media outlet, the Canadian news media outlet, how would you, if you saw that Justin Trudeau was in India for a week and he was wearing traditional clothing, how would you make a story out of that? And be not reaching as possible, but also trying to make it clickbait.
I would just be like, hey, Trudeau went to India and
had a good time.
Like, I would want to hear about what he talked about with like the politicians in India. Like, what did they discuss? I don't give a fuck what he was wearing. Tell me like what they talked about. What are some issues they talked about? How are they planning to work together? You know, all these these are the things I care about because there's a huge Indian community in Canada.
Oh, but I care about him wearing traditional clothing.
Stupid. So stupid. Which this story also bleeds into the next story, which is his wife posed with like a ex-Khalistani militant who were somehow like invited to like.
What's the Khalistani?
All right, so we're going to go into this story. So I was at the CBC, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was shooting this bit with Darren Jones, who's like a fellow Canadian comedian.
Oh, nice.
And he was shooting this bit on his show called How to Vlog. So I pretty much go in, we do this parody of like, hey, how do we vlog? So like every day we just went around the CBC building and I taught him how to vlog, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the bits we were doing was like, we were like vlogging physical activities. So we like did yoga in the middle of the CBC atrium, which is this huge building. In the middle of the atrium, there's like this open space, and they have a stage there. They do like live probably shows or speaking, things like that, and there's like chairs. So we were on the stage, and then behind the stage is this huge screen where they play like what's playing on the CBC at that moment. So as I was shooting this bit on the CBC, as the cameras are recording, filming us, behind me, I'm stretching, and I look up, and I see a picture of JASMEET, and I see a picture of a lot of the Sikh tension that happened in 1984, which was like Sikh militants or Sikh freedom fighters, militants or freedom fighters, whatever you want to call it. I'm not here to discuss the labels, but in the Golden Temple at that time in 1984, there was like a group of Sikhs that carried around arms and weapons like AK-47s, right? So they were showing those images, and then they were showing JASMEET right there, and then I'm underneath it, just stretching and doing.
Was audio playing?
Downward dog. No, it was just like B-roll, but it's just me like sticking my ass up and like doing all this stuff, and it was just like the most interesting, funniest trifecta of
how it all worked out.
And like I saw that and I was like slightly uncomfortable because I'm like, what is the CBC reporting right now? Like, what is this news story? So there's this whole like news story that JASMEET's going through right now, being accused of being a Khalistani, which Khalistan, if people don't know, quick. Let me just catch you up to date, very, very quick. So in India, Sikh people are obviously a minority. The Sikh religion, people in India are a minority, and you know we have a lot of the Sikh people live in Punjab. And in the 70s and 80s, there was tension because they were like, hey, we're not getting proper human rights. We don't have control of our own government and what we do with it. Like farmers are committing suicide. You know, there's pesticides that are killing our crops. There's a huge drug problem. There's not that much religious freedom. So there's all these issues that are kind of happening at that time, and they were bubbling up. And India being the country that it, you know, is a huge country. The government kind of like is like very nonchalant about human rights and social justice issues. So they're like, whatever, shut up, Punjab. So Punjab was like, people in Punjab were like started to mobilize and be like, yo, what's going on? Like, we are not getting the proper rights that we want. Like, we're not living fruitfully, right? And Punjab is a huge part of the economy. We're the breadbasket of India. So people started mobilizing, and then groups started forming, demanding for like more rights, more human rights. And then one of the biggest things that came out of that was like people wanted to separate from India. So this is like not a new story. This happens in like almost every country. This happens in Canada with Quebec. Like people in Canada, Quebec wants to separate from Canada because of pretty much the exact same reasons. Language isn't respected. They can't dictate what they want. You know what I mean? Like it's like two culture clashings. So Quebec and white people in Canada can talk about separating openly, but God forbid brown people want to talk about their issues and their human rights abuses, and if they want to talk about separating, no, because then you automatically get labeled as a terrorist, which is like stupid.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and when you look at that, I'm like, why can so what happened was, that happened in 84, and there was one prominent leader at that time, Sant Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale, who took occupancy of the Golden Temple. So he was mobilizing. A lot of people were interested. Like it's a very complex and complicated issue, and it's like there's too much complexity to this issue to like be black and white. Right. That's what it is. So it's like there's layers in this. So yeah, so that's when the attack on the Golden Temple happened. There was like a genocide, and then in Delhi in November there was another genocide where it was a government orchestrated mob against Sikh people, and then Sikh people were just like, "Yo, we've had enough. Like, let's get our own country. Like, we're clearly not being respected by our government, so we demand for a separate country." And that's where that issue stems from. But like, none of the Canadian media was talking about that. Like, it was just images of dudes with guns, with turbans and beards, and then JASMEET. And then I'm like, well, if you show this without any context to people in Canada,
looks bad.
It looks bad, yeah. Because remember that thing that happened in your country, like, I don't know, 15 years ago in 2001 on September 11th?
Yeah.
And then remember what they were showing in the news? Like,
like right after?
Like Osama hiding in caves, turbans, beards, guns. Like, turban, beards, and guns shown together is not the friendliest image.
A formula.
Yeah. Like, if you show that image without context, and then you show JASMEET, who has a turban and a long beard, and it just looks like them with a 3-piece suit on, and you provide no context, and just like, Sikh extremists, blah, 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 da, 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 da. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, hasn't even been a thing for, like, the past few years.
Yeah,
like,
so you didn't know why they're bringing it up, or?
It was just like, I was like, why are you bringing this up? This is a very painful thing for a lot of people in our community. Like, this goes in my mom, dad's generation. Like, all of our parents have stories about what happened in '84, and a lot of people left India because of whatever happened there. So it's like, it's a very complicated issue. And once again, it was all white reporters talking about it. None of them asked Sikh people what their thoughts and issues. It was just very black and white, and just creating this story. And I felt so bad for JASMEET, because I'm like, yo, you know JASMEET.
Yeah.
I've known JASMEET for like over 10 years. And I'm like, he's the one guy that is not what you're painting him out to be. He's like the nicest.
Dude,
he's a hippie wearing a 3-piece suit.
It was so crazy when you like are close to his face.
Yeah.
It's like you trust this guy with your life.
Like, it's like he's just like, why are you, I was like so sad for JASMEET. I'm like, why are you putting him against these images? He's like the most open-hearted, loving, hippie, 3-piece wearing suit guy.
Remember, he was like, I said my name, and he was like, you're not saying your name right. Do you not have respect for your name? I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, he's just like, he respects. I mean, I felt for him, man. I was like, he's probably going through some shit.
If I die and I go to heaven, right?
Yeah.
And I have an idea of an angel, it's JASMEET.
Yeah.
I see JASMEET.
Yeah, so that was like, that I was like, yo, you guys are totally racist because you're putting these two images together just because of, and like, JASMEET was fucking 5 years old when all that happened, and he lived in Newfoundland.
Where's that?
Like the east coast of Canada. Like, why? He had no involvement or part in that. It's like, it's so stupid. It's like, I don't know, man.
It's okay. Hey, that's just.
I'm just mad at Canadian. I'm like, yo, stop reaching. I know there's nothing going on in Canada. Stop making stories out of nothing. You're being stupid. Smarten up. And no, there is no underground militant movement happening in Canada. Like, they're painting it out as if, like how Americans paint it out with ISIS. Oh, Muslims are together in their mosques and they're plotting. And the thing is, if people want to talk about Khalistan and they want to talk about the separatist movement, we live in a free country. You should be able to have dialogue. Sure, let them talk about it. And if they want to believe, and I'm not saying I believe in it or don't believe it. Like, I'm just saying, like, if people believe in separating as a country, and there's reason that they believe that. And then there's people that are vehemently opposed. Like, I've been to India, I've been to Punjab, and I hung out with people in Punjab. They're like, we don't want a separate country. We're great. We love it here. We love being a part of India. So, like, I also understand that argument. And my, like, you know what I mean? And people are probably like, what's your stance on it? I have a hippie stance. My stance is, hey, why can't we just all get along? Huh. Just no borders, just hold hands and just kumbaya, just hold hands.
Which will never happen.
That'll never happen, but that is my personal philosophy. I just think drawing a line between separating countries is just stupid. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm just like, yo, we're all humans living on Earth. Can we just not just share things? But like, I understand people's opinions about it being like a social, political, economic argument. Like, I get that. I get all sides, and all sides you should be able to free to be talk about all sides and not be labeled one side for being a terrorist. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a very complex, sensitive issue. Ask Sikh people next time. Do your research. And
this podcast got very deep today.
Yeah, we're smart.
No.
So you just found out about a certain controversy that
directly
directly affects you.
One of my buddies, she sent me a text, and it's called a. Let me just pull it up real quick because it's actually pretty crazy. It's called Punch a Muslim Day. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And it's basically these racist, I don't know what they are. Maybe they're not racist. No, sorry, not punch a Muslim. It's punish a Muslim day.
Punish a Muslim day.
Yeah, so these letters got sent out to UK communities where it's basically a game.
Yeah.
And so for 10 points, you have to verbally abuse a Muslim.
Okay.
And you get 10 points. Let me just walk through what the letter is, whatever. So I guess April 3rd or April 4th. April 3rd is the date.
Mm-hmm.
So put it on your calendars. Put it on your calendars and do
This sounds really fucked up. I haven't even heard it, but I feel like this is going to be really fucked up.
It is. It's
Okay.
pretty fucked.
Right.
So April 3rd, just be careful, be safe, and especially in the UK. It's kind of trickling down in the US right now as well.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So for 10 points, you have to verbally abuse a Muslim. 25 points, pull the headscarf of a Muslim, quote, woman. 50 points, throw acid in the face of a Muslim.
God.
100 points, beat up a Muslim. Wow.
That's fucked.
Middle school, people would have been racking up those points with me, man. I'm telling you. 250 points, torture a Muslim using electrocution, skinning, use of a rack. 500 points, torture a Muslim using... No, 500 points, butcher a Muslim using a gun, knife, vehicle, or otherwise. 1,000, bomb or burn a mosque. 2,500 points, nuke Mecca. And I think they put the address of their... For further inquiries, please contact HM Courts in...
Do you have a picture of this?
Yeah, I have a picture. I'll put it up. Oh, in the beginning, there's a little paragraph. I'm going to read it real quick. Sorry. They have hurt you. They have made your loved ones suffer. They have... Oh, my mom's calling me. As I'm talking about this. Sorry, guys. They have caused you pain and heartache. What are you going to do about it? Are you a sheep like the vast majority of the population? Sheep follow orders and are easily led. And they're allowing the white majority nations of Europe and North America to become overrun by those who like nothing more to do harm, and you turn our democracies into Sharia-led police states. Only you can help turn this thing around, and only you have the power. Do not be a sheep. I get if you just sent this letter, but why make this fucked up game that
That's
knows...
really... And are people like... Is this a new thing this year, or people have already played this?
No, I think this is for this year. Maybe
so it's going to happen this year?
Yeah, April 3rd.
What the hell? And this is in the UK?
This is... Yeah, I guess it got sent around the UK and is now kind of trickling down
okay,
the US.
First of all, everybody on April 3rd... Be super careful. Be super aware.
Jokes aside.
Yeah, jokes aside. Be careful. Be super aware. This is some fucked up shit that's coming out. Is this gaining traction right now?
It's on the New York Times.
Oh, man. Wow.
I mean, I don't have much to comment on it besides just be safe.
Yeah, like, I mean, well, from personal... Like, it's just... You know, you've grown up in that community. Like, how did you feel reading the shit? Like...
I'm not surprised, which is kind of fucked up.
That is fucked up. That's such a... Yeah, that is fucked up. And that's not your fault.
Yeah.
Like, it's like... That's just how sad everything is.
Like, when I was reading that, I was just like, all right.
Of course,
I've heard worse.
Yeah. Wow. Like, to have that reaction, reading that, like, that's... Like, I'm listening to that, and I'm like, that's so fucked up. But like
they made a game. They made like a board game, basically. Not a board game, but like a point-based game.
Yeah, it's
like the fact that you have to go that far,
and you have to feel like you're that hurt about Muslim people, your literal neighbors that you're living with, and your kids go to school with, and that aren't causing any problems at all. It's just like paranoia and just. It's so stupid.
It's not being educated.
Totally. What is that gonna do? What is this game gonna? Oh man.
I don't know if you want to talk about this.
No, it's just like it.
Yeah, I mean, you guys. Yeah, you guys. I mean, I hope you guys are like.
I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say
because it's like so.
It's like everything that about this has already been said. It's just so infuriating that. If this does pick up traction and is like a huge thing, it's like, yo, how fucked up do you have to be to like want to do this and then be what that intro paragraph said, like feel like it's the right thing,
and then enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah, be like, hey, I'm doing this because I'm saving my people. I'm saving this like
My loved ones.
my loved ones, my nation's pride, my whiteness. I'm saving that. It's under threat. Like,
Hey, fuck you, Muzz. Oh, okay, I did pretty good today.
That's 10 points
for me.
Like, how did they rack it up? Are they?
Hey, Gary, just racked up 10 points. You better watch out on that leaderboard.
Oh, listen, man. I just pulled a 50. You threw ass in someone's face? No, I just yelled at 5 Muslims.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
They're all in the group. Guys, but for real, be safe. Don't go outside. Which is fucked up also to say.
April 3rd, 2018.
Love a Muslim Day.
We're inventing a new game. Love a Muslim Day.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 10 points. Compliment a fellow Muslim person.
25 points. Kiss a Muslim person on the cheek. As respect.
Yes, sure. Wait. Oh, make sure it's consensual, though.
Yeah. Don't just run up to them.
Just go to somebody's wife and just kiss their wife.
On the cheek.
On the cheek.
Imagine this, like,
plus 100 points. Ask a fellow Muslim, like,
how's your day?
How's your day?
Mm-hmm.
Or ask them about something that you may not know about and would wish to get educated about.
Wow.
Plus 500 points if you go to your local mosque and volunteer. But like
1,000 points if you donate to your local mosque.
Wow.
And 5,000 points if you build a mosque. Another situation I want to talk about because I think it's one of the most hilarious things, and I know how much you hate it so much.
Oh man, I don't even know.
And I know that's the best part.
All right.
So we went to I think we went to the OEO Fest.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I was in Canada. Just and everyone showed me a fantastic time.
Oh right, that when it was at ACC.
Yeah, beautiful time. It was my first time. I was like, I love Toronto. Woo! Someone gave me their Raptor Jeet gave me his Raptors jersey. I still have it, even though it's way too big for me. Yeah, like my skinny arms. As soon as we left the fest, some Caucasian female, ran up to JASMEET Singh, and said, "Hey, you're the guy for Vine." Thinking he was like, "Yeah, I am the guy for Vine." And she's like, "Yeah, I love your Vine that you did, where it's like, don't drop that dark." And then he was like, "Oh no,
that's not me."
I've never laughed harder than that ever. And we'll play the Vine right here, just to show you who she mistook you as.
Don't drop that dirk. Hey, don't drop that dirk.
Everybody thought I was this guy. Everybody. Like, I had so many people coming like, "Hey, Dirk. And I was like, what the frick? And then in like a moment of like maybe frustration, I went off on this guy. Like, I was like, man, why would you make this Vine? Blah, 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 blah. Which, like, I still kind of do feel that way. I was like, yo, come on, man. You're taking a couple steps backward. But, like, now I'm in a place where I don't get angry. And I fully find out the intention. And I'm very calm and peace with myself. So, like, I remember I went off on that guy. And, like, I think he was kind of hurt a little bit, that dude. Because he was like, man, I used to be a fan of you, man. And why did you do that to me? So, that was my fault because I didn't have a proper discourse with him. I didn't talk to him one-on-one as a brother to brother. And I kind of, like, went off on him on the internet. Which, like, I'm like, I don't do that anymore. If, like, I have an issue, I would talk to you. I'm not going to be no bitch and go online and talk shit.
Yeah,
I'll talk to you man to man, you know? So that was like one issue that I learned from there.
You're getting your ass kicked a lot.
Yeah. Oh, there's plenty of people that are after me out to get me. I know. I already know this.
But the fact that she thought you're the guy made me happy. I was like, yes, this is what I like to see.
Why? Why did that make you happy, WAHLID? Why did that make you happy?
Because it's not going to
You mind telling me, and the other viewers here, other viewers that may also wear turbans, why does that make you happy?
Because it was such a dumb joke, and it got taken out of context by mistaking you as another person. And I was like, yeah, I like seeing people dumb sometimes.
Well, that's like
it just makes you feel a little bit better. It sounds fucked up.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're right. You're just like, wait, I'm not the dumbest person on earth.
Here I was thinking, yo, get this. This is so I've been living alone. I moved out. Me and Zach moved out a while back. I miss him dearly.
Yeah.
But I've been living on my own for like 2-3 months now. Mm-hmm. And I've been taking military showers in my shower. Just to show you how dumb I actually am. Yeah. I've been taking military showers. And I was like, I got a snake, I got Drano, because I thought my sink just wouldn't, like the water won't go down.
Yeah.
And then I was cleaning the bathtub the other day. And
Your bathtub or your sink?
My bathtub. Sorry. And
which is also another, in addition to how dumb you are.
Yeah. So I
Wait, you don't shower in the sink, do you?
No, I don't know. And so I was like cleaning the bathtub, and I noticed that the clog thing was down. So for 2 months, I've been taking quick military showers, and it was all because I forgot to put the clog thing back up. So when I saw that at that particular moment, I was like, oh, okay, I'm doing kind of okay in life.
So moments like this make you feel better about
Exactly.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching and listening to this episode of Just Two Boys.
Guys, especially for listening, I know how much you guys like us with our facial features and talking, but we fucked up.
We did.
Remember when we talked about how stupid we were earlier in the episode?
Yeah, we're very stupid.
This is a very good example.
Start a comment. Did you agree with what we said? Do you disagree?
Do you think we're stupid?
Do you think we're just stupid people and we just keep our mouths shut and and just stick to making poop jokes and leave the actual issues to the social justice warriors fighting in the forefronts of the battlefield, and we should just shut up? Let us know. And if you enjoy this episode, we might do this.
This kind of
these issues, I feel like there's like a group of issues that concern our community that came out.
We'll just kind of bank them up.
Yeah, we'll bank them up and we'll do another one. So if you guys enjoyed this episode and what we talked about and our views and perspectives on this stuff, because people always ask us on Twitter to talk about bigger issues.
Nobody has, dude.
Nobody asks you, maybe.
Make more poop tweets.
Everybody's always asking my opinion on like certain things that happen in the brown community. So I think I would rather prefer to talk about it on here than on Twitter, because nobody fucking understands anything I see on Twitter and wants to twist my words and use it against me.
You're not mad, are you?
No!
Anyways, guys, thank you so much.
Why would I be mad? I'm not mad. I'm like just disappointed.
You're mad. Guys, thank you so much. We'll catch you later. Hey, be sure to put your notifications on. Well, fuck me. Fuck you. No, suck my...
You should have told me about the camera.
Dude, how?
It's your fault.
How?
Because half of it you didn't even say. Idiot.
True.
We're both dumb. I'm just mad at how both dumb we are.
Why do we have like a smart person on the podcast?
No.
To be our third host.
Where's Chaps?
Oh, god damn it. Anyways, guys, bye. I love you.